The Springboks have completely demolished Wales in what can only be described as a very dominant performance. I could even say dropping a nuke on the Welsh team, beating them 73-0. Yes, that's right, 73-0. And that is actually the biggest defeat that the Welsh team has ever received in Cardiff. And of course, it has come at the hands of the Springboks. There was a lot of talk coming into this game. Of course, a lot of players from both sides had returned to their franchises. So everyone was keen to see how the Springboks are going to, perform with the, so-called maybe second string players. But I can tell you right now, this was a very dominant side. The scoreline really does reflect exactly how the game was, with really it being the Springboks dominance all the way. I could say Wales really did not have any answer throughout the whole game. I mean, given maybe one or two opportunities they had, but generally speaking, it was the Springboks all the way. So these are actually just my first reactions to the game. I would say, obviously coming into this game, we knew it was a 7-1 split. The Boks were bringing in the Nuke Squad, so it was clear that it was going to be a forward-heavy, forward-dominant game, but man, I don't think we really expected it to play out this way. In the 6th minute, the Welsh team had a scrum, and I think everyone was watching closely to see if the Springboks are going to pick up where they left off last week against Ireland, and they did exactly that. On a Welsh scrum, they managed to win a penalty, and shortly after, it led to the first Springbok try. And of course, as I said, it was very forward heavy. I would say, man, most of the tries that came in this game, obviously it was a lot of Springbok tries, but most of them came from the forwards, so hats off to them. In the 13th minute, we saw the first try from the back line. After yet again another scrum that the Springboks won. In fact, they won a penalty, but the ball was passed to the back line, and Ethan Hooker was at the end of it, and he made no mistake, scoring a very brilliant try. The Springboks, as they usually do, played to their advantage. They kicked a lot. And of course they had Ethan Hooker as well as Kanan Moodley, on the wings, and both of them are remarkable in the air. An interesting statistic is that no other team has kicked more than the Springboks in this autumn series, and of course we can see the reward of it because the Springboks are formidable in the air. In the 30th minute, we saw another try from the forwards, this time at the hands of Jasper Wiese, who had yet another incredible shift. I mean, for him, I think when it comes to just turnovers and even the scrum dominance, he's just incredible, So yeah, and I mean, as I said, throughout the game, we didn't really see any moment where the Welsh had good possession, particularly in the first half. One or two times happened in the second half, but in the first half, it really was the Springboks all the way. We saw how hungry the Springboks were when it was half time and the clock was in the red, but the Springboks were not kicking the ball out. They wanted another try. So in the 44th minute, in the first half, by the way, the 44th minute, the Springboks managed to score their 4th try. And going into halftime, it was already 28-0 to the Springboks. Coming out of halftime, going into the second half, Springboks really just picked up exactly where they left off. So within 3 minutes of the second half, they scored another try. This time coming at the hands of Volker Low. And as I said, man, it was just phase after phase after phase, weakening the Welsh and resulting in a inevitable try. The 44th minute, in fact, the 45th minute, we saw Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu. We know we can't keep him out of the game. He scored his first try after a quick tap and go when the Springboks had a penalty in the Welsh territory. And of course, another brilliant try. I would say Sasha had a great game, man. Even in his kicking, we saw in the Irish game, it seemed like he struggled quite a bit with the kicking, but but this time he really had a great game, both just in play but also with the kicking. So that was good to see, because of course we saw some criticisms coming around his kicking. On the 50th minute, I would say the 50th minute, I just want to bring your attention to this picture right here, where the Nuke Squad was coming onto the field. Already the Boks were, of course, far ahead, and it was clear that the match was won at that point. But seeing the Nuke Squad come all at the same time, with Etzebeth, with Reinach, just all the forwards coming, all 7 of them coming on the field, Bongim Bonambi, it was quite a sight to see, so that was refreshing. Springboks, of course, scored a few more tries. There was a period where we saw Welsh fighting back a bit, and it looked like they may at least get some points on the field, but the defense of the Springboks was on point. So yeah, man, there was really no answer to the Springbok dominance. The 78th minute, we saw a very bizarre incident. Of course, Etzebeth came in with the Nuke Squad, on the 50th minute. But he got involved in a brawl with one of the Welsh players. And it actually, when they played back the visuals, we saw that he actually tried to do an eye poke on the Welsh players, which was quite bizarre. It's interesting. It would be interesting to see what actually triggered him, but it definitely was an unnecessary, incident. And of course, it resulted in him being red carded, which I would say rightly so, because it was, illegal, foul play, and you can see he wanted to, put his thumb in the Welsh player's eye. So that will probably be a talking point throughout the week. It was very bizarre, but it does not take away from the powerful Springboks performance. They finished the game with 14 men, but with a clean sheet. And of course, that was the last Springbok game for the year, and what a successful tournament for the Springboks. What a successful tour, rather, for the Springboks as they toured Europe. They managed to get 5 out of 5, and that is something to be very proud of. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this game, the Springboks performance? I would love to hear from you. If you have not done so already, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I will see you in the next video.